Hi everyone, welcome back to Active Mindfulness Tuesday Questions. As always, my name's Gemma. I'm a psychologist, cognitive behavioural therapist and mindfulness teacher. So each Tuesday I answer one of your questions, and today I've had a question about using mindfulness for pain. So I want to really just say that this is quite a big area, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of how mindfulness might be used for pain. So it can help if, when you think about pain, particularly chronic pain that people experience regularly, if you think about yourself as being shot in the chest with two arrows, so one here, one here. So this top arrow represents the pain itself, the condition you might have, what it is that's causing the pain, the things that you really can't change or can't change without a lot of medical help. Then this second arrow represents something else. It represents an extra layer of suffering, the worry about the pain, the frustration from the pain, the things that you can and can't do as a result of the pain, what you're missing out on. You see, there's an extra layer of suffering associated with pain. There's the pain itself, and then there's everything around it, everything it means to you, everything that is affected as a result of the pain. And when we talk about mindfulness for pain, what we're really thinking about is the second arrow. We're thinking about that extra layer of suffering. So to give you an example, I suffer from pain. I suffer from chronic skull pain and migraines. And what I would always recommend is it's important to get these things checked out. So I have had some involvement with neurologists and things, and it's been found that this is something that I'm probably going to be living with. So what I would recommend is, in terms of using mindfulness to help with your pain, recognize your second arrow. Recognize your struggle with pain. What does it mean to you? How much do you worry about it? How much do you project yourself into the future? How much does it affect your mood? All of those extra things, all of that extra layer of suffering. But as a part of that, really recognizing, what's my struggle with pain? How do I respond to it? And that's something that we can discover using mindfulness, using things like the body scan to really explore our body and to notice our mind's reactions. So for instance, one of the things that I noticed as I started to use mindfulness was that I was very hesitant about bringing my attention to any area of the body that had pain, particularly my skull. So I didn't want to bring the attention there, and I would avoid it as much as I could or rush through it very quickly. So there was a level there of avoidance, and there was a level there of me kind of saying, this isn't real, I'm not in pain, I'm okay, I'm fine. And even though I knew I was really trying to work on this idea that I wasn't. I was trying to distract myself with, no, I'm going to focus on something else. It's not there, it's not there, it's not there. So I was trying to push it away. Now, if you think about trying to push something away, like trying to push away a wall that's right in front of you, you're putting a lot of energy into pushing something away that isn't going to be changed by you pushing it away. It's not going anywhere. That wall is not going anywhere. I'm not strong enough to push away a wall. So you end up being really afraid of the pain, but also really putting a lot of energy into resisting it, into not being with it. And that makes you very fearful. So it's a little bit like if you've ever watched a movie that's a bit scary, and they start putting on the sinister music, and maybe someone's walking around a house very slowly and you're just waiting for something to jump out or something to happen. Then when it happens, quite often we jump much more than we should do, because we were kind of getting into that tense place, that tense place, that tense place. Movies do a great job of helping us get into that tense place with the music and everything that they set up. So that when it comes, although the sound or whatever might not have been that huge, we find ourselves jumping just because we're in that tense place. And we often do the same with pain, that we brace ourselves, and we end up tensing everything up. So imagine you're going to have an injection and you're a little bit scared of having the injection. You might really tense your arm up. And then, of course, we know that if you really tense up, it's probably going to hurt a little bit more than if you didn't. So during mindfulness meditations, particularly I would say things like the body scan, where you get really good practice at bringing your attention and your awareness to different areas of the body, you can slowly start to move towards the pain. You can slowly start to bring your attention, using your breath to help you, towards that area, to explore it, to notice it. Because quite often we say with pain, oh, it's just a pain, it's just a sharp pain. I don't like it, I don't want to get near it. When we explore it, it might be sharp, it might be tingly, might be sharp for a moment and then tingly. It might be in one place, it might move slightly. And part of not being so afraid of your pain is to really understand it, to really make sense of it. But you can't do that from a place of resisting it. So, gradually, what we're doing here is not changing the pain itself, but we're changing our relationship to the pain. So, let me give you an example. So, around a year ago, I had a bit of a reaction to some anesthetic, and it sparked some of the migraines that I experienced. And I was in a lot of pain during this. And my natural response is, I want some medication, I want some codeine, I want to calm this down. And of course, I did do that, but within the right doses, and it wasn't enough to take away the pain. So, what I chose to do was really bring my attention to the pain, to really notice it in small bursts, of course. I couldn't do that all the time. But what I found was that if I stayed with that pain, in that moment, in that second, I felt I could cope with this. That as soon as my mind kicked in and said, but if I have to cope with this for another 4 hours, or what if this never goes away? Or what if this is doing damage internally? Then I'm straight back in there, straight back in the anxiety, straight back in the worry, straight back in the pain in a resistant kind of way. But in those moments of just being with the pain, I was able to feel differently about it. I was able to feel in this moment, I can cope with this. So I hope that helps. This is a big issue with pain, and it's often the opposite of what people are taught when we quite often say, think about something else. Don't think about it. Don't experience it. Don't go near it. And sometimes that can be helpful. A bit of distraction can take your mind off it and put it on something else. That can be helpful. But quite often the side effect of that is that we develop a real fear of going near it. And when we're really afraid of something, it becomes much, much bigger. So I hope that helps. Do feel free to comment or ask any questions that you might have.